Hey, this is your buddy Brad, zapping your brain matter with my pirate broadcast from somewhere on the planet. There's more and more of them, folks, like they've been dropped out of the sky, but I feel like the alien, like a tender creature in a deadly jungle. Or maybe you'd call it the end of the world, the end of a certain kind of world. Yeah, man, they're dropping out of the sky to gobble up the sacred caves that we've been hanging out in, hiding in. The downtown shadows of the East Village. What's left of the East Village.
I see you over there. Yes, you. Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune.
What is this place?
You're in my cave.
You sound like some kind of vampire. What happened last night after I came over? Did you turn me into a creature of the vampire night?
Glad you stayed over. My floor is very happy.
I spent the night down there?
The whole time, breathing softly.
The pictures from Mistress Marilyn's back room. Quite a Mardi Gras. All the devils, monsters, saints, sinners.
A lot of good shots. You were terrific last night as Mary Magdalene.
At the back room.
On the cold marble altar.
Whispering her sins, breathing her desires. Crazy thing how Mistress Marilyn's was raided. Not long after you stumbled into the place. Mistress Marilyn was down there the whole night. Cops spent a lot of time checking her out.
It sounds like they're cracking down. Probably sending a message. Don't make waves.
Don't know. You tell me. I better get going. It's light outside.
What if you get zapped out there?
By the patrols.
Maybe you should wait. Might be too soon for going out there.
I was afraid to go back outside.
Everyone is afraid.
There was a time when I felt happy out there. Bright, luscious sunsets when everyone was moving in a liquid light.
An Emerald City.
They think I'm a troublemaker for riding a bicycle. The carcass eaters. That's my nickname for them. Whipping around in their mechanical monsters. I had a dream that the guns and bullets were turned into flowers. My tree is gone. They tore it down. They said it was diseased. I told them they were diseased. But I did nothing. I stood there, silently watching them storm into the garden and gobble it up. I could hardly move, hardly breathe.
The condo tower is going to be there. Views of the Empire State Building, the whole bit.
You sound happy about it, like an alien being who's just been given a slice of apple pie.
You might have been detained, or worse.
I was Bridget Bardot yesterday on my bicycle riding in the south of France on a beautiful spring day.
Can I call you Sister, Bridget? She was my 6th grade teacher, always covered from head to toe in rough black fabric. Very fond of her heavy wooden ruler. There was one boy, his name was Alphonse. Sensitive, fearful. One time, he had smiled, even laughed at something. A drawing of a nun with a whip. Damn fool. They made him suffer like hell that day.
Wait, you don't look like a priest. More like the devil, I'd say. The way you leer at me in Mistress Marilyn's back room. After I came over, you just stood there watching me breathe.
There was a voice.
Of a ghost?
From a pal. His name was Joey. He never made it back.
What did he say?
I can't remember.
you don't want to remember.
Something about the war.
Which one?
Joey was wounded,
The guy who went over there?
but he never made it back. Bled to death all night, out there on the perimeter, one lousy piece at a time.
That's what you hear. His voice. His ghost.
Sometimes I hear the forgotten souls out on the boardwalk.
Your pal, Joey, was one of those spirits at Dino's.
Poor devils on the greasy bar stools with their Dino's French fries.
Sounds like a horrible blur. Just like Smitty. The only real thing that was still left on the deuce. Still left on the deuce.
The deuce?
42nd Street, between 7th and 8th, where the old Pete palaces were.
I heard about those sleazy movie theaters. A never land of cannibals from hell and triple features for $1.
Smitty, with his faded magazines of girly pics, the last human thing left in Times Square. Smitty would talk about the Ziegfeld Follies, the Marx Brothers, the Lyric, and the Old Vic. About Harry Houdini, his disappearing elephants down below, under the earth. Secret rooms and passageways. The geeks of midnight, freaks of the day. The bright bookstores with dark booths and slippery floors. Go-go girls.
All the rundown joints. Do you suppose Smitty had ever been in love? Someone to touch, to hold?
Someone to get his blood boiling.
There could have been a time, moment, somewhere. Someone he had glimpsed, and his life changed in an instant.
Every time I saw him, Smitty's face had more cracks and crevices, more ruts in the road, like he had just been zapped with another blast.
I guess the day they came for Smitty to take him away was the day it all ended.
On the deuce. I remember you watching me.
Last night?
I wasn't asleep, not all the time. You almost touched me. I could feel it.
I don't know about that.
Yes, you do. Let's liven things up and devour each other like a wild dog looking for the last scraps left on earth.
What is this, my confession?
Would you like that?
I reveal my thoughts and receive punishment?
You sound like a priest right now. Maybe you should hear my confession. They grabbed me one time. I was trying to save my tree.
They wanted you burned at the stake with heavy chains wrapped around your skin.
Pulled me off the bicycle.
Put their hands on you.
Yes.
Can I see the bruises?
You're jealous?
They demolished the garden, didn't they? On the corner.
Came in with a SWAT team and dogs. Monster dogs. Monster dogs and cops in riot gear to destroy the precious thing we had created.
You elbowed one of them.
Bull, it was an accident.
They get enthusiastic when suppressing dissent. They don't like not being liked.
How did you know that?
What?
Who told you? Only the patrols know what happened. Things have changed. Things have changed.
For us?
Us? What do you mean, us? You seem disappointed that nothing happened last night.
No.
I've been disappointed in you.
Why?
You never seem to fit in at the back room. Maybe you've come to invade my neighborhood, you and your pals.
You think I'm some outside invader?
Yes, maybe.
I was hoping this thing could go on a bit longer.
What thing? There is no thing. Just who are you?
I'm not really a camera-happy fan of the back room.
Just who are you?
I work for some people, and they're concerned about certain grassroots activity that's been going on. They consider you a troublemaker, you and others on your block.
I had a dream last night. They called me an outlaw, a mysterious creature, for hugging trees, for riding a bicycle.
You're trying to save the neighborhood.
Sure, you bet. What's left of the place?
There's a lot of people interested in your neighborhood, including some international investors. Your offbeat activities may be in the way of significant profits.
Like we're bloated bodies floating by in the muck. But we brought this neighborhood back to life, and now the leeches in suits and ties are here to devour the human carcasses of my block.
They'd like you to leave the neighborhood, for a while at least, until things settle down.
Leave the neighborhood?
This can be a very pleasant experience.
Depends on what you mean by pleasant.
I have an offer you can't refuse.
A trip around the world.
How'd you guess?
Terrific fantasy.
All the details right here.
How did you reach into my thoughts?
They have an extensive dossier on you. You're on their list.
An enemies list?
An intelligence report for various corporate interests.
What's with you? Is this some kind of gag?
Totally on the level.
Don't believe you.
It's an unusual option.
Option?
There are other options they're considering that I'd rather not discuss.
Options like someone's mysterious disappearance. Wait a minute. The time I was pulled off my bike, arrested, they had something to do with it?
I wouldn't be surprised. Info gets shared.
And Armando Perez.
Never heard of that guy.
He was trying to save the place.
The old school building?
Right before they invaded the building, he was murdered.
Maybe the ones who cut down your tree, who destroyed your garden.
You mean some real estate people?
Be careful what you say. The folks who sent me, don't hold your breath waiting for them to care about anything. It's all going to change. You can't stop it.
I can raise hell.
And then what?
Hell if I know.
You won't want to be around to see what happens.
Place full of condo towers to the sky. Sounds like a living nightmare. Just what would be waiting for me over there at the other end of this offer? A fat cat smoking a big smelly cigar, saturated with his evil saliva.
An empty space in Paris, and a credit card. It would eventually expire.
Sooner than later.
And you'd have to move on.
This scheme of yours, where do you fit in?
I don't, but I'll always have those pics from the back room.
You're not some cop or government guy.
Just a guy in the private sector.
Who wants me out of the way so the big boys can kill my neighborhood. And then something will pop up that looks like Godzilla.
Wouldn't you rather be having fun over there? Away from all the bad stuff?
What happens when I get back?
Things will be different.
But I'll probably be the same.
Your block, your neighborhood, will be unaffordable.
Damn them.
Maybe you think there's a human being inside me, buried way down deep.
Did something happen to that person to make him disappear?
When my pal Joey went over there, he was gonna do good things. Help people, somebody, anybody, have a better life. I told him he was a chump.
I wish your pal had made it back. You might still be a human being.
Maybe I'd be helping out at the VA on 23rd Street.
God help them.
I didn't know you believed in God.
Pray to her all the time.
Of course, your Mistress Marilyn bit, bringing Jesus back to life. The big boys don't care about suffering, except how they can make a buck from it. They'll stop at nothing, almost, to get whatever can be exploited, developed, the earth, the people, you name it.
Like hogs wallowing in slop, kicking up their heels and snorting out their joy to the world. I suppose you look at my pictures now and then.
And think about you on the floor, me watching you, staring at you.
Maybe I'll resist.
Like the guy from Mars said, resistance is futile. When I first saw Bridget, she was a mysterious Fraulein with a thing for doing Polaroids, color Polaroids with harsh lighting and greasy thumbprints. She'd been lovingly attached to an altar for a modern-day exorcism on a luscious slab of stone, assisted by Monsignor Fellini, leading everyone in prayers and penance as human creatures of the earth were pierced, fondled, whipped, slapped silly, whacked into wackiness.
To hell with them. I'll turn into a cat woman. I'll move and dance. I'll smile and laugh and blast the big boys to hell and back. Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather since you and I got together. Keep raining all the time.